Hey everybody, Alan here. We just uploaded FRDS 1.1. Getting a little bit of a version jump here because we have some cool new features based on a variety of requests that may be breaking for some of you. So if you're content with your FRDS setup, all your mats are good, your game doesn't need anything else, maybe skip this one. Maybe skip this one for a minute. But for those of you who are looking for some new Zaz, I've got something here for you that I think you'll appreciate. So, based on various assorted, user requests on the Discord, thank you for those. Keep those coming. That's how we make better stuff. I had to change how sampling worked. Okay, so if you remember in the old inspector, you would have underneath alpha settings, you'd have like PBR settings, and it had some sliders, and then you had like main and sampling settings. Okay, but some of you are using other assets from the asset store that are set up to use like two diffuse textures, lerped by Vertex Color or whatever. Okay, that's a legit thing. That's a case that we probably want to handle for you so that you can have all the cool features of FRDS, even though like the deep down paranoid performance part of me is like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let them sample. make them fix their UVs. Um, there are reasonable cases, and because ultralight and diffuse are already so fast relative to other shader options that you have available to you, like you're still probably better off doing it that way, and you'll come out ahead with FRDS. So cool. But you'll notice now we have two things. We have a main layer and we have an overlay layer. Okay. So main layer is going to be the PBR and sampling settings for your mesh. The overlay layer is optional, and it gives you an entire second stack of that sampling that you get in the main layer. So you could do two ultralights, you could do a mix of things, you could do whatever, you can mask them all sorts of ways, you could blend them together, you blah, 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 blah. So all of the overlay color stuff that we had in the main layer is now lives in the overlay layer. And that's why if you're content with the old way, don't switch. Okay, so let's look. We're gonna mess with these rocks here just as like a quick and dirty test. So you could see we've got our PBR sliders. We can make them shiny. We can make them metal. We can do occlusion or not. You get the idea. There's not a lot of shininess, so that didn't really show up. You've still got your options here to use UV1. You've still got all your sample mode options. Ultralight, ultralight double, diffuse, diffuse double, standard, blah, 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 blah. Expensive, color mode. So this will just do color. There you go. And then you've got all your emission options. So RGB or mask, or off in this case. Works pretty much how we expect. Now we have a checkbox here to turn on the overlay layer. All right, and I've already plugged in some stuff here, so it's gonna be weird, but we're gonna like kind of fake a moss since that's like a thing that people have been talking about. Like, hey, I want to put moss on my rock. Maybe let's make this rock kind of shiny so that this is a little more obviously different. Okay, so we have a mask mode that's optional. We'll look at that in a second. We have different blending modes. You can multiply on top of your whatever's in your main channel. That will make things darker. You can add. That will make things brighter. You can overlay. It's like an overlay in Photoshop. The bright stuff gets brighter and the dark stuff goes darker. You can replace, which for this like moss scenario is what we want. We want to use, we want to use what it looks like moss in the moss spots. And then we've got a min, which will just take the lower of the two colors. And we've got a max, which will take the brighter of the two colors. I don't know why you would want these, but the math is really cheap, so I checked them in here. Okay. We've got a whole new set of PBR sliders for this layer, which is very cool. That gives us lots of options for what we would want to do here. You could do snow this way. You could do all kinds of stuff, right? So we're going to do a diffuse, and we're just going to plug one of our ultralights in here because they're mostly green, so that lets us see some stuff. We don't need emission, but what we do want to do is we want to go up here to the mask. Now you'll notice I changed masking options as well. It used to be you had like height and invert height, and then like pivot and invert pivot and radial and invert radial. I got rid of all that. So now you just have these options, and there's a little checkbox to invert if you want to or not. We are going to use world normal first, and you'll see this gives us a handful of little options. So we have a mask offset, we have our scale. We can set up our normal direction down here. We can pow this to multiply it by itself, make it tighter. We want it to be pretty tight, right? We can boost this to make it boostier. We can aim it by like changing it in the X direction, like, oh, there, all the moss grows on the north side of the trees, right? Is that even true? I don't know if that's even true. Or it's that way. I don't know which way is north, but that's a world normal. And then we could invert it, of course, and it would flip it around. That may give us weird results. I don't know for world normal. Haven't tested all these. Get in there and test them, and if you find anything weird, you just let me know. We'll take care of it. Okay, so there you go. We got world normal. Let's turn that metalness all the way down. Let's turn that smoothness all the way down. Let's look at local normal. All right, these can be rotated different ways. So local normal may not like do the moss thing you want, but it's going to work the same. You've still got 2D noise. Scale is going to be, like a thing that you're going to have to play with for these. It's going to really depend on your assets. 3D noise, right? You get two directions of noise multiplied together. Got your pivot. This is going to be really uniform because the things are going to be weird size. This is probably way too high, right? Because it's going to go from the pivot of the object out, and then you could invert that if you wanted the color to go the opposite way. Radial is very similar. Okay, so there you go. And Vertex Color, if you need to do a mask based on Vertex Color. We don't have Vertex Color on this mesh, so that's not going to help us. But World Normal would do the trick. World Normal would do it. Cool, there you go. Everything else is still in here, but you've got this cool new overlay mode all set to go. I'm going to leave that checked off. In the examples, you can experiment how you wish. I will be updating the docs to match all this stuff, but that should be enough of a primer to get you there. If you have any questions or concerns or thoughts or more free features you want to see for FRDS, as always, drop them in the Discord. That's the place to hang out, talk about your projects, share stuff, request features. We've done almost every feature request. I think so far there's only been one won't fix. And it's mostly just because I can't figure out where to put it in the menu. There you go. Cool. Hope that helps everybody. Enjoy.